Do you have an irresistible urge to spend money? Are you living a lifestyle that you cannot afford, yet you cannot stop it? Are you in debt, yet you cannot manage it? Do you know anyone who is struggling with these things and you're wondering how to help them? If yes, this is your video. Welcome to Coaching for Dominion, the space where we learn life skills, pursue purpose, and have dominion in every area of our lives. My name is Victor Kibet. Today, we are learning about money personality. Money personality is what represents the attitudes and habits that people have when dealing with money. It shows how someone is thinking about money. Now, there are several types of money personalities, but today we are dealing with compulsive spender. Compulsive means just to have an irresistible urge. And today, as we go through this, I want you to have a self-reflection to see if this refers to you or someone who you may know and you may want to help. We will have the solutions to these things at the end of the video. So these are the characteristics of compulsive spenders. Number one, they live in the moment. That means they have the tendencies of here and now. So whenever they want something, whenever the urge has kicked in, they have to spend. They have to get that which they want. Another characteristic is that which is in line with the same, is that they are impulsive. Impulsive means they don't think of things ahead of time. They just react in the moment. And this confirms why this kind of people hate budgeting. They don't like budgeting. As you know, budgets are plans that are made ahead of time on how to spend and how to use resources. So because their impulses contradict the budgets, there is friction, and so they're not comfortable with budgeting. And even if they do budget, they will break or they will blow those budgets. Another characteristic is they uh, operate in debt. This is the reason. It's because, according to them, it's not about whether they have money or not to spend. It is about where do we get the money? Where do I get the money? And there is no faster way to debt than that, because the only way that you can spend money that you don't have is by borrowing. This kind of people also, whenever they get a windfall, meaning money that they were not expecting, and then maybe they went out for a trip they were not expecting, and they were given some money, maybe just some quick money came in, a gift. They take that money to nothing else but pleasure. They use it in a way that is not very productive, because they are fun people. These kind of people, they love fun. They are very outgoing. So another characteristics of a compulsive spender is they love to be admired and celebrated. They have to their attention, to get attention. And for them to achieve this, they definitely have to spend money to get the kind of cars that bring them attention, the kind of clothing, and those kind of things. And so their self-worth and their confidence is attached to the things that they own. So as they spend, they build their confidence. They are defined by these things. And so they go to debt because they need to sustain that. They do not take time to research. If they need to buy something, because they're impulsive, they do not take time to do a background check. They don't have time to look for options to see which could be the best deal. The other characteristic is they are also they see a deal in every transaction. Why? Because they look for money all the time. Because their lifestyle is expensive. They just, as soon as they get money, they spend it. So that means they need more money coming in. And so in everything that they do, they see a deal, they look for an opportunity to make money. This kind of people also, they, because they don't like having a control of their spending, they see the solution to their financial issues to be making more money. So they only think about increasing income and never want to talk about managing expenses. So these are very interesting group. They spend emotionally. They deal with their emotions using money. So when they are very sad or very happy, they go on a spending spree to handle that emotion. So this is another problem that they have. Another characteristic of this uh, personality is they are very good givers. They are very generous. They love gifting people. I think that is a positive thing. The only problem is sometimes they go to debt as they gift people, as they please people. And of course, again, this connects to them being celebrated and being admired. The last one is that they don't communicate to important people about their expenditure. For example, a spouse or kids or a business partner. So what they do is they spend and then they report later. They come and explain later what they have done. Again, it goes back to them being impulsive. Now, this kind of personality, and like any other personality, has a genesis. There are things that influence people to have a certain kind of a personality. So for compulsive spenders, one reason, for example, is background. For example, those who grew up in poverty background, they lacked a lot of things as they were young. And when they grow up and they make money and they have the opportunity to have what they missed, they now spend so much to kind of compensate for that time. And they would want their children also to have what they missed. And so they spend a lot just to compensate. And they end up going to the extreme of spending too much. Another reason could be low self-esteem. You see, when you have low self-esteem, you look for something to validate you. You look for something that will cause people to give you attention and look at you a certain way. But of course, that does not cure the problem. But that is something that can drive people to be compulsive spenders because they want to please people and that kind of a thing. Again, there are many experiences that we go through in life. And for example, people could be humiliated in life at a certain point. They were mocked by people. And now they want to make a statement. And so to handle that social issue, they end up being spenders just to convince themselves and also to convince others that we are able and we can do these kind of things. So that and many other factors can cause people to be compulsive in their spending. Now, what are the solutions, or what do you need to do now if you find yourself in this situation or have someone who is in this situation and want to help them? One of the ways to do, number one, is to automate your expenses. That means you make arrangements such that you can spend without coming in contact with your money. You can save without having contact with your money. One way you can do that is having a standing order with the bank. You give instructions to the bank that when your money comes in, they, for example, send it directly to your circle or to your money market fund, or to pay a bill immediately, maybe directly to your landlord, so that you don't come into contact with that money. Another solution is to do budgeting, as much as this kind of people don't love budgeting. The reason budgeting is important is because a budget gives you the true picture. You know, sometimes you may have money in the bank, but indeed, in reality, you really don't have money. This is because the money you have in the bank is already committed. It already belongs to someone else. For example, if your salary has come in and there is money for rent, there is money for utilities, and those kind of money within your salary. So you cannot conclude that the full amount is just accessible for you to do whatever you want to do. But when you have a budget, it tells you how much of your resources that is free, how much is committed, and so you're able to be prudent. You can have a kind of a picture and a reminder for yourself. Another way to do this is to deal, so another solution is to deal with your emotions. Uh, Avoid using money to deal with your emotions. This is because there are underlying issues. There are issues behind your emotions. So you need to tackle them. Have a search within yourself. Look for the root cause of those things that you struggle with and have a way of solving them without involving money where money is not necessary, because that is simply covering up. Okay. Another solution could be to set for yourself some rules. For example, in a single day, I am going to spend this amount of money, unless there is something that is not usual. Okay. Another way is to say, within, if I see something that I like, I will take 2 days to evaluate. Then I'll come back after 2 days to purchase it. So that gives you a time period to assess if you really need that thing. And sometimes you'll find out that you really did not need that thing, and so you're able to avoid it. The impulse will have disappeared. The compulsion will have disappeared. So another solution that you can take as a person is to have an accountability partner. Maybe your spouse, maybe your partner, business partner, maybe your friend. You can just tell them, this is my struggle. Please help me to deal with these kind of things. Hold me accountable. When you see me doing this and this, please tell me we agreed, we are not going to do this, and help me to avoid it. Another way is to look at your company. You see, if you hang out with people whose mantra is, you only live once, tomorrow will take care of itself. Life is for the living. I mean, there is no way you will avoid spending. If you are hanging out with spenders, if you are hanging out with people who do not talk about the future, about savings and those kind of things, you will definitely have a problem saving. You will have a problem taming the habit of spending uncontrollably. Reward yourself. You can take yourself, you can do something for yourself after achieving a target. For example, if in a month you are spending, let's say, 30,000 Kenya shillings on entertainment, and you manage to bring that figure down to, let's say, 10,000, you can reward yourself for that saving of 20,000 by maybe going to treat yourself with a good meal, registering for a course, or just doing something to appreciate yourself for making those steps. So that is one way you can just encourage yourself. Wealth creation starts from the seed, and the seed is your saving. You need to multiply that seed. You need to multiply that savings for you to grow your wealth. And as long as you remain a compulsive spender, it will be hard for you. It will be impossible actually for you to grow wealth, because you have nothing to grow. So my suggestion is, be deliberate, or help that person who has this struggle to be deliberate to walk this journey. It might be a struggle, but where there is an intention, there's always a way. Thank you for coming this far with us. Till the next time, have a good time. Bye.